Berdasarkan
Today the
wewenang
tide has turned.
konstitusional yang ada pada Presiden Republik
Indian
Indonesia,
companies like
kami
Mahindra
akan sita
are
yang
at the
bisa
forefront
kami
of
sita.
technology, scale,
Kami
and
akan
ambition.
selamatkan rakyat. Kami akan membela
While we have been
kepentingan rakyat.
exemplifying this across many
Kami
of our group
pastikan
companies,
rakyat Indonesia tidak akan
special
menjadi
mission to our
korban
auto team,
serakanomics.
and in particular the Chakan plant,
Korban mereka-mereka
that
yang
is scaling
mengejar
up for global
keuntungan
demands,
sebesar-besarnya, menipu dan mengorbankan rakyat
as we look
Indonesia,
to continue
dan
our path
membawa
of leadership,
keuntungan itu, kekayaan itu
technology,
keluar
and
dari
overall
Republik
in the
Indonesia.
space.
Ini harus kita hentikan.
For this, we will continue to innovate relentlessly, solve for unmet customer needs, using both
Selama
the
saya
engineering
menjabat
promise
Presiden
that we
Republik
have,
Indonesia,
center
jangan
that we
pernah
have in
anggap
Chennai, that is a key contributor to our success. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of you who are present here, to thank our suppliers, our channel partners, and media partners, and of course, our auto team for really leading the way and showing what India can do. Because the most important paradigm shift is that India will now lead the world. We've set the stage for that, we have shown successes, and we are taking that further. So as we celebrate another year of freedom, we at Mahindra renew our unwavering commitment to rise, to advance India's aspirations, and create world-beating vehicles. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. Welcome and happy Independence Day. It is a moment of freedom, a moment we cherish, and it's a pleasure to be with all of you again today on this holiday of which is the 15th of August. So I just want to start with something you've seen before, and this is what we call our brand purpose statement. And this is very important. This is a statement we crafted in 2020. And that was the beginning of what has been a strong success story. There are some very critical words that you see on this chart, and the first one is life is an adventure. And we really believe we are here to leverage the adventure mindset in people, and for those who want to live it boldly. We've also spoken about the kind of people we have in our team, agile, bold, and collaborative, but what they're going to do and bring to customers. And that is authentic SUVs. You see on the bottom a definition of what is an authentic SUV. Adventure capable and which tell our story of origin. That means creating brands which are true to our origin, true to our DNA, but in a very sophisticated, upgraded, tech-ready, sustainable way. So this is really, the reason I'm flashing this back is what you're going to see today is an extension of a purpose statement we made for ourselves 5 years back. And we want to be true to this in everything that we do. We have disrupted to become the number one. What you see on the chart back here, with each of the launches over the last 5 years, how our SUV revenue market share has moved up. So what you see in Q1 F21, which was really the year 2020, that was the year we launched the 3-door Thar. At that point of time, our SUV revenue market share was 13.4%. And you can see how that has moved up with each launch over the last 5 years to the last quarter, which is building in the effect of our born electric SUVs, taking us up to 27.3 revenue market share. This is now a revenue market share of a very large chunk of the market. It is the SUV market, and Nal will talk a little bit more around that, is 65% of the total vehicle market. So a substantial chunk in which we have a revenue market share of now over 27%. What got us here? And in a way, I'm going to connect this back with the brand purpose statement that you just saw. We believe one of the most important things that got us here was insight. Going back to the first line, life is an adventure. We really believe and have understood from customers that customers are looking for a getaway. Life is very burdensome by itself. And really people are wanting exploration as a part of their life. They have a desire to get away, and vehicles of a certain kind are the best enablers to that. Fundamentally, we build our business on this insight, which is about making choices and which is the next key parameter of what our building block is, which is focus. So if we have caught on to an insight, then we've got to make sure that everything that we do is delivering on that insight. And that's what focus is. So which means we often get a question, will you play in cars or will you play in category A or B or C? And the answer is no. We're not going to deviate from what we believe our brand stands for and the core DNA of our brand. And you'll hear more about what that is today as we talk about our vision going forward. Design has been a very critical part of our success. Our products connect with customers emotionally. We've designed products which are very sophisticated and technology-led, but at the same time making them very accessible to customers. And then the last element is the brand and the go-to-market strategy. So I think we've got this element of the chain, which is insights, focus, design, products, and brand go-to-market, as all coming together, delivering on a wholesome, holistic brand purpose. I'm going to talk about 5 pillars. Again, these were defined by us at the same time that we defined the brand purpose statement 5 years back. These are the 5 pillars which drive our product strategy. Can you go back? Sorry. So the 5 pillars that drive our brand strategy are turn on design, which is really about creating products with an unmissable presence. The second, and these are words straight out of our document made 5 years back, not designed for today. It's not a slide we've created for today. Our products must deliver spirited performance, and we call that power on tap or on tap power. Safety, you've seen we've been continuously delivering the highest safety scores. And then we'd used a term 5 years back called Sky-Fi today. What that means is what you may imagine as technology, which can't come to you in the near future, is what we've got to bring today. So it has to be sci-fi today, not sci-fi in the future. And the last is, of course, the brand is about tough, but we need the edginess and the sophistication and the refinement which customers look for. So that's really is, in short, the story of our brand purpose, what we did to get there, and some of the key tenets on which our strategy has been built. The reason I'm recapping this is you're going to see this as we go forward, and you will connect some of what we've spoken about earlier to what you're going to see later as we go into our vision of 2027. Now, we get asked one question a lot in media meets, in analyst meets, and really what is that most asked question? Are there more white spaces? So really, okay, you've done something, you've got these 4, 5 products. Is that the end of the story? Or is there more such space for growth? And is there enough headroom for us to grow? And that really is the answer to the question. The answer to that question is, that's what our Global Vision 2027 is about. It will help all of you understand that we still have a lot of headroom for growth, and Nal will now come on to walk you through how the market dynamic looks and where the white spaces are. So over to you, Nal. Thank you.
Morning. So can you guys hear me? Yep. Our journey to the Vision 2027 is built out of our commitment to building authentic, true blue SUVs. And within Mahindra, we have come to call that segment core SUVs, and you'll hear that a lot when we talk to you guys. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about what we mean by core SUVs and why we believe that's the right bet, which we took 5 years ago, and that why it continues to be the right bet for us. So it's a little bit of a busy slide. Let me spend a couple of minutes on this. So core SUVs for us, you take the entire universe of all the UVs. We take out MPVs out of it. Industry calls that UVs. For us, we take it out. And any kind of hatchback-derived crossovers, we take it out. That, to us, is core SUVs as we look at it. And you step back and look at 2022, core SUVs used to be less than 20% of the market. But the interesting thing was the customer preferences were changing. There was an increasing choice made to go for core SUVs. And that drove the market. In fact, if you see the overall growth of the passenger vehicle market, almost all of it was driven by the core SUV market. The market itself grew by 2x of what regular PV growth is. So if you look at core SUVs as a market, it was growing twice as fast as PV overall. And within that, thanks to the launches that Rajesh talked about, we've actually grown 3x. Our core SUVs have outpaced the market 3 times. And in some ways, that tailwind gives us the confidence to double down that bet and say that we are going to continue to focus on core SUVs. The question is, are there more white spaces? With growth which is 3x as much as PV, does it still leave some room? The interesting thing is, even after the last 3 years of growth, if you look at it, core SUVs is still just about 30% of the entire PV industry. So to us, the white space is the rest of the 70%. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go into that 70% of the market and start to produce micro SUVs, sedans, hatchbacks. We're going to stay true to our core SUV DNA, the 5 pillars Rajesh talked about, and go after the market. So if you look at it, 30%, I can grow 2x from here, and we still have room to grow from where we are. So that gives us the ability to do that. Now, you will remember, when we say core SUVs, it's not just about commanding height, ground clearance. We actually disrupted the market when we came in a few years ago and said that we are going to bring you next-in-class features. We're going to get ADAS, for example, when 700 came. What used to be enjoyed by the top 5% of the market, and start to truly democratize it and bring it to the rest of the market. And that gives us the confidence that we can go do the same thing in the rest of the 70% of the market in India. But with the products that we're going to be putting out, we believe we can start to now go global and compete in the rest of the market. So how does this look in the global markets? I'm looking at the entire universe of mainstream SUVs globally. The premium SUVs, which we used to call next in class in India, and the features they used to have, that's just about 5% of the market. The rest 95% of the market is waiting to be disrupted, to be given next in class features in mainstream SUVs. So the playbook we have taken in India and what we have done over the last 4 years is the same playbook we're going to start to play out in the rest of the world. And guess what? That addressable market outside India is twice as big as what is there in India as well. So it's a huge opportunity, and the platform we're putting out, our aspirations are truly global at this point in time. So what we're going to be unveiling today is the next drop shipment of SUVs. And we're going to be doing that by pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We're going to be doing that by, as always, exploring the new impossible. And Velu will come in a little bit and talk a little bit about what do we mean by that? What do we mean by pushing the envelope on what's possible? And for us to be able to do that, we're looking at putting together a brand new platform built to totally new standards in terms of performance, built on innovation which is born out of our design centers in UK and Mumbai, and crafted and brought to life in MRV, and infused with intelligence, which will showcase each and every product coming out of this platform. I'll just cue for the platform logo here. So I'll get off to the side. So the platform which is going to underpin our next set of products is new IQ, pushing against a totally new set of standards and infused with the IQ which has not been seen in next generation of cars as well. So to talk a little bit about new IQ and what we are doing there, I want to invite Velu on stage. Velu.
So the new IQ platform directly takes on the global C2 segment. I just want to give some clues about the global competition. You can pick it up, you are very smart guys. The information is not yet out in X platform, so there is one clue. And the information is evolving. There is another clue. These two platforms are international platforms selling quite well, luxury platforms. That's what I'm going to compare in the tables that are to come. This platform is designed in MRV to take care of multiple requirements. And I'm going to say this with Arjuna's bird's eye, and as Durnacharyas, you write the judgment. With this platform, we are going to build multiple products. And Brother Guru is going to show you those multiple products. And the thunder is yet to come. It's the foundation that I'm building for you, for the C segment guys. Anish said these are world-beating products. The automotive world is in the cusp of change. And Rajesh left with very interesting two messages. The insight, the focus, the if it is done, then what? Nal said white spaces, we look for the bird's eye like Arjuna's. Now I'm going to look for the bird's eye like Arjuna's. The most important thing in my childhood that I learned is when I'm sitting on the shoulders of my grandfather, I used to tell my grandfather there is a bullock cart coming and go to the side. And that got imprinted into my head. And then said, in the compact segment, compared to any international cars, SUVs, we have to give the seating, commanding seating position for the A. And what is the right dimension? So how did we arrive at 1563? It's very simple. If you have the 5.5 feet and 5-inch average Indian, the A height is roughly about 1,540 millimeters. So we added another 23 millimeter and said 1563 is the number. That gives me the feeling of standing on my shoulders of my grandfather and gives me the confidence to tell him what he has to do. Isn't it? That's why we don't compare with the benchmark. As you see, we are far away from that. So that's the Astra number 1. Of course, you get the ground clearance. Inside, you have to relax, you have to recline, and you have to arrive. Compact segment is not an economy seat, it's a business class. And I was looking at Nal and Rajesh, and they are 6 feet. And if I don't give them the relaxing leg room, you know what happens to me. So what we sit, always the compromise happens in the second row. If I had to fully, like the business class, stretch my leg, if we're 6 feet tall, 3 feet you have to give that space as a leg room. The 937 second row is little bit better than the 3 feet that you see. In a compact, no other car gives that dimension 937 if you're closer to 4 meters. So our car is about 4.3. The next one, SUV 1 is 4.4. And the next SUV 2 is 4.5. You can refer it. In 4.3, can you give this legs room? I told to Nal and Rajesh, and they said, okay, well done job. So that's the Astra that we are bringing, the bird's eye focus. So therefore, we have to increase the wheelbase to 2665. It's one of the best wheelbases that we have in this segment, which means the cabin and the luggage space we give. So we have to take care of the frontal crash and the frontal occupation. I will come there next. So when you give this and when you give the spacious cabin, always Tronacharyas, you will ask me, how are you handling the ride and the handling part of it? Always, the compact segment guys look for cost saving. And they say, we will put a twist beam. And person like Hormas comes and says, the twist beam, it's an age-old technology, and why are you putting it? And then, it's not it is not to be considered as a competition suspension system. I asked him once 2 years ago what he thinks should be in the compact segment. He said, can you put the 5-link? I said, no. The international cars have 3-link, the one that you saw it there, the first benchmark. The second benchmark has only 4 links. I said, if you are at the cusp of transformation of our automotive technology, then you should bring 5 links. I didn't understand what the meaning of 5-link, but I know now. The red controls. When you take a turn, it controls the stability. The green and blue gives you the right camper, and the yellow gives the toe for you. It is completely delinked, and you can tune the way you want. Then you can give the space to it. That's a 5-link suspension. First time in the world, we bring it to compact segment. And then we thought about it for the Mumbai roads or the Pune roads or Chennai roads. You need the best damping to this. Over 3 years, we have been working with the supplier and then said, if I have certain CG, I need to have the best control of this body. Nowhere in the world this technology is available, and we said we will develop it, and though we coded it Da Vinci. First time we will introduce this Da Vinci. As you see, to control the body, at point 2, you need certain force. And naturally, the force is increasing and the ride becomes bad. We said you cannot increase, you can make it horizontal. That's the technology we introduced it. With 5-link and Da Vinci shock absorber, it sets new standards. It's a suspension disbelief. That's what we call it internally. The commercial aeroplanes, their approach angle is 15 degrees. Beyond that, they fall. Okay, what about fighter jets? They are 25 degrees. We wanted the aerodynamics engineers to learn from our engineers, and we said we make it 28 degrees. Don't worry about any speed breakers. Anywhere in the mall, just go over. Your front bumper will not hit. Its approach angle is 28 degrees. And so is the ramp over angle. That's 28 degrees. It's nowhere closer to the, it's far away from the SUV1 and the SUV2. Do you still consider and continue to rate me like Dronacharyas, or you have already green ticked? This is the best, I like it. In the roads of the Indian cities, you need to turn this in a very, very low turning circle diameter. And like we brought the filing suspension and the Da Vinci damper, we wanted to bring the variable pitch. What does it do? Simply, the benchmark 1 has 10.9 circle diameter, turning circle. The benchmark 2 has 11.6. And though I have 2,665 wheelbase, I turn it in 10.5. It sets the new benchmark. Therefore, we call it as turning heads and corners, better than the rest. Isn't it? This is so beautiful. Riti gave me the rank, I've fallen off from the chair. How can you define better than this the luggage space so beautifully? Thank you, Riti. This time, we want to put to rest any discussions on the luggage space. And we said this is 15% better than any competition. Again, this is global competition. I'm not comparing the Indian competition here. With all of this, you may be thinking, what is the weight of this car? And will it have the agility that Nal spoke about and Rajesh spoke about, the spirited performance? We have designed it, the MRV engineers designed it in a way for the mass to volume, we have the lowest, the 26.5. The way to remember 26.5 is the moon takes 27.5 days to go around the earth. And we said you need to be 1 day lower than that. That is 26.5. That's a ratio. It's a nature's gift that we took it and put it. And you see the rest of the benchmarks where they are. I'm not taking the highest volume of my product and therefore getting the advantages. When I reveal it later, you will see the BIW weight is the lowest. That gives the highest agility and spirited performance. We talked about the front compartment that's responsible for powertrain packaging and safety, the occupant's compartment and the luggage compartment. I'm sure absolutely you are convinced the occupant's compartment and the luggage compartments, we are way ahead of the compact. But in the crash, we have to look into the Mahabharata and come up with some astras. These astras are not earned easily, but these astras are hard-earned. Have a close look at it. In the middle of the floor, you typically don't have the strength, and we have asymmetrically placed ribs to strengthen it. Therefore, we got 101 patents so far for the engineering work that we have done. It meets the global G NCAP. It designed for G NCAP 5-star, not only G NCAP, the E NCAP 5-star and the A NCAP 5 stars. So it meets every safety standards that's available in the world. That's how it comes. That's on the safety side of it. We wanted to get this spacious vehicle to have the best structural integrity of the BAW, and we invented a concept called Uniring. This Uniring gives the highest stiffness to the side of the vehicle that drives like a jet, and that's the most important thing for the side crash for us. You all know the Inglo platform with all its reliability done, durability done in the EV. That battery pack straight away comes to this car. I'm not traveling into this. As strong bonds of the bottom floor and the side wall survive every test. So do we. It's most interesting, is it? Rajesh came and told, We were telling Rajesh, we have a gangway. No, 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 you have a flat form, not the platform. And we said, with a 2665, this is the best gift that you can give it to your compact segment customers. Even the 4.5 meter long car has only this 162, and it's without tunnel. And we said with the tires, we don't accept the tunnels anymore. And therefore, we raise the standards, not with the tunnels, but with the flat. Still, there are people in the world who believe the earth is flat. But you really believe it when you get into this vehicle. 229 is an auspicious number. All that we said, now would you like to see the platform in the digital views? AV, please. Arjuna had multiple astras, and very powerful one he got it from Shiva, but he didn't use in the war. But he used the one astra to win the war, that is Anjalika. And this is the one that is connecting the brains, the heart, and the soul. Before you see from Pratap Guru the full-flown form of this brain, heart, and soul, Vinay came and said, he will put the coding into it to create it, and that's we are bringing the hardware structure differently, architecture, software architecture differently, and functional architecture. Then we connect to cloud, we call it as an SDV, and from here onwards, from BEV onwards, we bring in this technology to our cars, and so we continue to do that one. It's intuitive, it's intelligent, and so let us look at this Hachamai video. The best man that I know who can put all this brain, heart, and soul, I call it always Pratap Guru. Pratap Guru, can you come up, please?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know, India dreamed of freedom 79 years ago and achieved it, and all of us are here today. We as the global Mahindra design team dream of a platform like this that really lets us express design in its purest form. All of you know we have 5 brands, and today we'll show you products across 3 of them, or in that direction. But At the start of any project, we ask ourselves a few fundamental questions. And the questions that are hardest to answer actually get the most creativity out of us. They push us, and they push us to find something new. When we set out to define our vision for the products that would come on New IQ, we kept our hardcore philosophy in the front and center of everything we did. As you know, hardcore is about falling in love. It's about designing hardcore SUVs straight from the heart. And in that theme, we found that opposites attract was going to be central to every product that we would design on this New IQ architecture. It was going to be the flavor of our solutions, and they also framed our questions. So we said, when opposites attract, sparks really fly. The first question we asked was, can new be iconic? You know, for something to become iconic, it takes time. It has to live in the world. It has to live amongst people. It has to be loved and appreciated. So we said, can something be born iconic? Let me take you through a little bit of the design process for two Vision products or two Vision SUVs, one called the Vision T and one called the Vision SXT. As you know, we start all our projects with proportion. This is what we discuss and work closely with our colleagues at MRV. Proportion is at the heart of every product we design. How do you get authentic SUVs, both visually and functionally? Something that has the ability of Veluguru's team. How do we express that in design? So that's what we start. Surfaces comes next, really sculpted, really strong shoulders, strong wheel arches to give you that sense of ability. And finally, the details. God lies in the details, said Mies van der Rohe, the architect. And we truly believe that the details should be part of the whole. Next, we come to the interiors. Interiors are also about proportion. How do they make people feel? What is the width of the cabin? What is the sense of space beyond the measurements that we are given? How do you feel that roominess? What do the colors do? What do the materials do? What role does it play in building an authentic brand? So these are the ways we sort of work through proportion, surface, details, and interiors. And of course, the design team globally, both in the UK and here in Mumbai, work to that minute level in everything we do. So let me show you a little clip on what the Vision T and the Vision SXT are meant to do.
please take your seats. We have more and more excitement coming up. Please, I request you to please get back to your seats. Thank you.
I think we can go up and have a little chat. We can go up. Broke again. Hello. So, Velu sir, I think the unmissable presence was quite clear to see. So should we now go?
No,
No?
I did tell you the best man on the earth to put the brain, heart, and soul. I saw the souls of you reflecting back, right? Can you give a clap to, put your hands together and give a clap to Pradap Guru. Thank you, Pradap. We don't leave you here, you know. You made it 4.3. But what happens to the customers who are just below 4?
That's true. That's true, Velu Guru. I don't know what the answer is.
No, but you and your team came up with such an incredible one, right? So Pradap Guru came up with certain ideas, and then we said, we are not going to disturb the platform, and we are going to design the sub 4 meter with the same 2665, which means the sub 4 meter car gets exactly the same, the leg room, the command seating, all the stuffs, it gets it. So we wanted to take this platform and bring it to the products just below the 4 meter. So it gives the versatility, economy of scale in a single box that will blow the minds of the people to out of the box. So it covers from sub 4 meter to 4.3 meter, and you see the silhouettes of those cars. And I am too eagerly waiting for what you have done, Pradap Guru. Over to you.
Thank you, Velu Guru. You know, designing a sub 4 meter SUV is one of the most challenging design exercises for car designers anywhere in the world. It's a category that exists only, as you know, in India. So designing something for that. Now, what was the question we asked when we approached this? We didn't want to lose the true Mahindra DNA when we designed the car. We didn't want to lose the wheel sizes. We didn't want to lose the shoulders, the strength, the muscle. So we asked ourselves a question that can something sculptural be moving? And for that, we set off on the Vision X design process. It's the same thing. It's always about proportion. Wheels at the corners, a wide planted stance, athletic shoulders, beautiful definition all around the car. Of course, the class-leading ground clearance, the biggest wheels in the segment. That really makes this a powerful visual entity in terms of proportion. Then we move to the surfaces. When I said sculpture, this is where two surfaces come together and leave a mark. That's the design language of the Vision X. They don't just blend into each other. They live on their own, but when they come together beautifully. And you can see that in the design sketches that our designers make. Surfaces also talk about how light moves around the car, and that's what it is about, movement. And finally, we come to the gorgeous details. We spent as much time, if not more, on the details than anything else on the car, because that's what you touch, feel, see, come close to. And last but not the least, it's our interior design and materials. This has got, again, a cockpit-like or a fighter plane-like cockpit, but nice expansive space. The instrument panel gives you that sense of space that we talk about, but everything is wrapped quite tight around you. And everything flows beautifully from one to the other. And that is, in short, the Vision X. Now let me show you what the Vision X would look like on the streets. Can we have the AV, please? and gentlemen, was the Vision X. I hope you loved that. Now at Mahindra, we don't do things small, we'll go large. So as you know, there's one more product we would like to show you on the same new IQ architecture. Can we move to that slide? The Vision S, please. So the question we asked here when we were designing the Vision S is, can solid still be sporty? That's that contradiction, the juxtaposition of two opposites. Opposites attract. Can solid be sporty? I'll take you through the process, and like you know, we make hundreds of sketches across the design studios. Again, starts with proportion. We are blessed with great proportion on this architecture. It almost makes the life of the design team easy. I don't want to use that term very liberally. My team will kill me. But I think when you've got solid proportions like this, designing a phenomenal SUV on top of that comes much, much easier. So you can see, even while it's tall, it's still wide. It's still planted on its wheels, on its arches, with that ground clearance that's going to be class leading. So how do you create the interior for a car like this? It's the same thing. Sense of space, all the controls where you need them. And many of you have asked me this question: is HMI going to go completely digital, or are we going to bring back some buttons? And as you can see here, it'll be a great combination of digital and physical, and it runs the new UX that you saw in Velusan's presentation. Now, how do we see the Vision S? Let's see the clip.
Request everyone to please settle down. Right. Request everyone to please settle down. Request everyone to please settle down. Guys, we'll have them back. Request all of you to please settle down while all the four cars come down. We'll have a leadership photo op and then you can get on stage to with the photo shoot. Please bear with us for 2 minutes. Guys, 2 minutes. Request all of you. Just give us a minute. Everybody please look in the center.